Welcome back to Glitter Mindset. I'm your host, Ari Lady, and I am stoked to be here with you today. I am jumping right into this content because I had so many notes after having this conversation with a client and deciding that I wanted to hop on here with you. So I got a lot to say. So I was talking to a client and they told me something that I've heard like 1 million times. Maybe not 1 million, but at least like 2,205 times. Okay. And with their permission, I'm sharing a little bit of the story. So they were explaining why they had their prices so low to the point that they were unsustainable and miserable and not really making a living wage with this offer. And they were justifying it and said, well, my ideal client doesn't have a lot of money, so that's why I have to keep it so low. What the fuck? Your ideal client, you get to craft up anything you want. You get to go get in the energy of attracting any type of client. And you want to attract someone that doesn't have the money or doesn't want to pay your premium prices for your premium services. And if that's what you have in mind, if that's a story that you're telling yourself, if those are the types of clients that you're showing up for, you are definitely continuing to attract them, right? So it made me want to chat with y'all about common mistakes that you could be making when it comes to pricing. Obviously, number one, with the example, is you're appealing to the wrong ideal client, or you have no idea who your ideal client is, or you are mistaking people that you want to help in the world and your ideal client, because they're not always the same. Are you making statements like that? Like, my ideal client doesn't have a lot of money, so I need to make it accessible. A mistake that I made, and I know some clients have too, including this one. This was another part of our conversation. A lot of us have gone through this major transformation in our lives or our businesses or our money mindset. And we want to work with clients that are like us before the transformation, or older versions of us, because we look back and we look at those like broken, struggling versions of ourselves and we want to fix those pieces, right? I wish I knew then what I knew now. So if I can, start working with people before they can make these mistakes, before they can go through all that, I can save them so much headache and heartache. And so we see a lot of those broken pieces of ourselves in people, and we attach to that, wanting them to be our ideal client because we so badly want to serve them, right? But that version of me wasn't ready to be invested. I wasn't ready to show up in that way at all. And I was not ready to bet on myself. Past me would have talked so much shit about current E's prices because she was always killing herself and undercharging and devaluing her work and creating unsustainable business models. I wasn't ready to see all of that stuff. I had to go through a lot of those lessons and learn a lot of those things hands-on before I could even begin to get to the point where I was ready to burn it down and want more. If I had clients like that version of me that I, have kind of always visualized and carried and wanted to help so badly, I'd be dragging and have drugged them along and been so desperate, like, please, you got to believe me, like, better is just on the other side of this. I would have been so attached to their outcome. I would have been so desperate to help them and bent over backwards, even if they weren't ready for things, right? Now pause. Are there different things that I can create to ease someone like that along the path? Yes. And have I? Yes. And can you? Absolutely. Can you create a free download? Can you create a podcast? Can you show up in your story sharing tips and tricks? Can you make a free ebook? In your networking groups or online communities, can you contribute to advice and comments? Okay. So yes, there are ways that we can serve and help. And the more that we attract our dream ideal clients that are actually ready to invest with us, the more that we can give back to those in other seasons in their business, right? If you're working with dream clients, selling out your programs, creating high-level masterminds, whatever it is that you're doing, what resources does this open up for you to give back? Can you go volunteer your time to speak to, beginners business courses? Can you create a free 101 course or masterclass that runs down all these tips to where you got to where you're at? Can you make a scholarship application for your high level programs? Like, there are lots of opportunities there but first we got to work with those people that are going to be paying the bills and sustaining you. The more you are taking care of yourself and are well fed and sustained, the more you can give back. But I will say, just stepping into your power and living life as the highest, most successful, most joyful and abundant version of yourself is a gift to the world and a gift to the past versions of you that are still stuck in those mentalities, right? You serve as a guiding light of what is possible. You normalize success, you model boundaries, you model pricing models that feel really good to you. Just that in itself is going to help others that are watching, right? Just that in itself is going to inspire and normalize that type of behavior. And there's a lot that goes into creating an ideal profile. And I will absolutely create more content about this because it is my bread and butter and I freaking love to do it. It is my jam. But for the focus of this, one of the biggest things absolutely has to be willing to see what you can do for them and be ready to pay and invest, right? You are worthy of clients that say, fuck yes, pay in full, send me the invoice. You are worthy of clients that respect the time and energy and effort and investments you put into being the badass that you are today, that is really fucking good at what they do. You are worthy of clients that want you to be well compensated for your brain and your magic. Another mistake is you are in your client's pockets. How do you even know that your ideal client doesn't have money? Are you pushing a stereotype? Are you projecting your own shit onto your clients? Are you not trusting your clients to be able to make good money and business decisions? How do you know their budget? How do you know their spending habits? How do you know the types of things that they're ready to invest in? When we're talking about not being in your client's pockets, there is like a reason I don't want to focus on the wounded versions of myself as an ideal client, right? I'm going to attach my old money stories to them. I'm going to think about that kind of shit. And we don't need to project our money stories onto people who are ready and willing to give you money. The story that they were projecting onto their client was because they were an artist and they didn't have money to invest, right? And I hear this shit a lot with people that want to work with BIPOC specifically. Please don't assume that because I'm brown, I don't have money, right? That I don't understand the importance of investing in myself, that I'm not capable of making decisions to bet on myself. Please don't assume that as a woman of color, I can't afford to be in your program or that I cannot be trusted to make financial investments in my business. And the example that I have given in these types of conversations is like when I go into Saks and I'm ready to invest in a luxury designer purse, I'm there for a reason looking. If someone looked at me and was like, oh, would you rather come here to the bargain bin area for clearance? I'm going to be like, excuse me? I can afford this. I came for this. Why are you belittling me as a customer? And why are you not trusting that I can make this big decision for myself? I came for a luxury experience. Treat me like a luxury client. You have no business making money decisions for them. You have no business deciding what they can invest in and what they can't. If you see somebody as an ideal client, then treat them as the luxury client and get out of their pockets. Which leads us to number 3, making discounts and giving it all away. I am all for giving the good things away. I talked about in the beginning. I love being able to create content like this or on social media or show up in communities to contribute. I do. I love that. But that has to be enough. And I have to know that when I have a paid program, I set my price for a reason and I'm allowed to have that price and I'm worth that price. And the price does attract the right people. Something that I've struggled with for a long time and something that I know but keep completely falling backwards on is the people who pay attention. I wish I could tell you different. I honestly do. But after years of constantly learning the hard way, when you discount yourself and your programs or give people access to your products for free, they just don't show up the way that they do when there's an investment. The ones who get the discounts are always the most entitled and demanding of your energy. The ones who get the free programs, the free memberships, they just don't have a reason to put in the work. I saw this with my memberships and my communities for years, and I would constantly be told by my team, like, hey, remember what happened last time, or my mentors, but I would want to help someone so badly. And I, again, would see how I could help them and how I could serve them and, how I could improve their lives and businesses. So I'd give them like a free month or 2. And they didn't show up. They didn't do the work. They didn't put in the work. They didn't do the things. And in fact, there would be some that would like come and complain that they didn't get anything and like you didn't show up or do anything. There were so many people who came to me for help and I knew I had the solution for them. And I made them a map and they didn't do anything, right? You can lead the horse to water. I'm sorry to have to say this, but 4 out of 5 times that I attracted the people that don't ever want to do the work, right? Like most of the people that I'm like, okay, here is this amazing like option for you, they didn't want to do the work. And so I just continued to attract those types of people. They just wanted to complain about their business. They just wanted to complain and have things handed to them. And when it came time for them to work, they moved on to the next opportunity to complain. Okay. And the next opportunity for something to be handed to them. I won't even get into the people that I used to give free birthday parties to at my art studio. But spoiler alert, it was everyone with a sad story or a circumstance because I had absolutely no boundaries. But I've seen this in my programs too. This has been like an ongoing lesson for me. And I keep thinking that it's going to change, but it just is the truth. The people I've given discounts to would not want to do the work. And then again, complain about not getting anything out of the program. Some people would come to one call and never again. We've all done it. I've received free things and not shown up. I've signed up for free networking events and, not had enough skin in the game to go. I've had low prices for things or been given a discount and I just didn't pay attention. How many of you have done like a free week-long challenge and stopped showing up after day 3? People that pay attention. And if you know deep down in your soul that your results, the results that you're providing as a nutritionist, a personal trainer, a coach, a mentor, then you should want to attract people that pay attention, because the people that pay attention are going to get the biggest value and they're going to be your biggest evangelists. They're going to get it. You're going to see the ripple effect in them. They're going to tell everybody. And also you're just going to feel good about the programs that you put out. We want to feel good about what we put out. And if people are paying attention and doing the work and getting the results that you know that you can give them, that is a win. But if you are so busy trying to chase people by giving them discounts rather than attract the people like ready to get it cracking, there's going to be unsatisfied people. Remember I said I was attracting people that just wanted to complain? Well, what do you think they're going to complain about next, right? You. Okay. I have to take a breath and a drink. My clients know. And once I get on a certain soapbox, like the conversation, it's like a small conversation and then it turns into like a full-on aria rant. Okay, number 4, you're undervaluing your time and your energy. Another pricing mistake that I hear from creatives, well, it only took me X amount of time, or I can do this really quickly, or, it's not that big of a deal. Girl, if you don't fucking cut that shit, what about all of the time and work and energy and financial investments it took you to be able to do it for 5 minutes? I am sure that my graphic designer spends 5 minutes on some of the projects that I've sent her. I hope she does. It would take me hours to do it and a lot of headache, and it would not turn out to be that great. But she did the work to learn, right? And she has the software and she invests in her education to keep that shit going. She's done it for so long that something that would take me hours only takes her 5 minutes. I don't care how long it took her. I am super excited to compensate her for being able to create it and being able to create it well. When something comes natural to us, we tend to undervalue it. We think, oh, anyone can do this, or everyone thinks like this. This isn't groundbreaking information. Nah, they can't. They can't do it like you, at least. That is why they're showing interest in your products or services. They see your genius, and you should too, and you should charge accordingly. I also hear people say shit like, well, people could make this on their own. I can make an iced coffee at home, but I still pay $7 for Dunkin'. Okay? They're paying for convenience or they're paying for experience. So let them pay you and stop bringing the voices of like the craft fair Karens into the mix and into your pricing conversations. Number 5, you are not including enough for upkeep and taxes and savings and paying yourself a living wage. When people are doing their cost of goods, I see a lot of people, it's just the actual materials, right? And they're not including a lot of things. I've seen that they don't even include like the packaging that they put their stuff in. Built into your prices, whether it is a service or a product, there should be 20% that goes away right for taxes and some to put away for upkeep. What if your laptop goes down and you have a program to host? Okay, or an order to fulfill. You're going to need to get out there and go get a new laptop right away. You can't wait. You can't afford to not go get it. And so if you had been putting money aside, you can run out and get that. If you're a maker, what if your vinyl machine breaks or your sewing machine? You need to build in a pricing model that allows you to be able to fix those things and also allows you to grow and scale and hire and outsource when you need to. What if you go viral for something that you hand create and you can't afford to pay for someone to help you, right? I've seen this exact scenario play out. She didn't put it in her prices to, have somebody help at least package it or at least, paint the base on things. She couldn't afford to do that. So she burnt herself out. It was unsustainable and she ended up losing a lot of money. You also need to build in paying yourself a living wage. Okay, a living wage, actually a thriving wage, right? Not surviving wage, a living, thriving wage, a wage that covers you, like not just your basic necessities, but a wage that allows you to live life on your terms and take time off and pour into you. Okay, all of these things are things that I've learned over and over again. Some that I'm still working on. Okay, if my husband's listening to this, some that I'm still working on. But when we have heart for something, it is so easy to want to make it quote unquote accessible for everyone. But let me tell you a story about accessibility, okay? That is what I wanted for Art a la carte. Art accessible to everyone, right? Nobody would be denied art. So I didn't build a sustainable pricing model. I showed up to events and gave so many things away to the community. I gave away all of the parties and events to everyone. And I had programs for families that qualified for public service. And I was the one who was needing the services myself, right? But the vision was accessibility. And what happened in the end? I was burnt out. I was underpaid. I was in debt. I was losing a lot of money. I was negative in my accounts. I was sick. My body was broken. And ultimately, I had to shut my doors. And now it ain't accessible to anyone. I had to email the programs that I supported to let them know that they could no longer use our space as a safe space for foster kids to visit their birth parents. So much for accessibility, right? I had kids that were screaming and had to be pried out of our studios that day. Now it's not accessible to anyone. Feeding yourself, paying yourself enough to create a comfortable lifestyle that allows you to rest in your group, allows you to take time off, allows you to outsource is the best fucking service you can provide your customers and clients. If they want what you have and want it to last, they got to show you the money. If you love what you do, make sure you can do it for a long time. If you know what you're providing changes the world, make sure you're able to continue to show up for them, right? Attracting high-level pay and full clients that fill all your cups allows you to sustainably give from that overflow. And your dream clients, right? When you are writing out your dream clients, your ideal clients, your dream clients love to pay you. Write that shit down on a Post-it note. Put it where you can see it all the time. My clients love to pay me. They love to give me money for my magic. They love to pay me in full and respect the hell out of my premium prices, okay? The more you can rock with that, the more you can tap into that energy, the more you can continue to call the right ones in. So this is a sign to raise your prices. I'm sure it is time to look at them and give them a little raise and probably build in some more boundaries. And also, I can almost guarantee that it's time to dive into that shadow work and the limiting beliefs that popped up for you when I just told you to raise your prices. Because I could hear you. I know you heard me and you were like, well, I can't do it. Okay, no. This is your sign to raise your prices. Take a look at it and also dive into those stories that are telling you that you're not worthy of it. That is what I have for you today. Thank you guys so much for being here with me today. I hope you enjoyed this topic. Please screenshot this episode and tag me and share your favorite takeaways. Shoot me a DM if you want to expand on any of the topics. I'm at Arielighty and at Glitter Mindset. And hit the subscribe button, leave a little review so this message can reach more audiences. Oh, and if you are ready to maximize the fuck out of your impact, influence, and income, holla at your girl for a VIP day or some high-level long-term mentorship, okay? Because if you are my ideal client, if you're listening to this and you're a revolutionary, a visionary, a thought leader, an unrealistic as fuck creative entrepreneur, and you are ready to not just talk about it, but be about it, I'm ready to work with you, okay? But I'll talk to you guys next week. Thank you so much for being here.